Either way, it's perfect. You sounded good before too. All right, so let's get going. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this live stream. I am so excited to have here with us Astroved and astrologer, Pillai Center teacher, Lalita Donatella, and she is going to help us understand what it means to have several planets in Taurus. So my name's Gina, my spiritual name is Lakshmi. I'm happy to have everyone here today. And what I would like to understand is how this planetary, having these planets in this particular location is going to impact us. So I have a few questions for Lalita. Please also post your questions in the chat, and we'll get to those after we've done the initial conversation. So first of all, we know Dr. Pillai mentions how the Vedic New Year is when the sun moves into the first natural house, which is Aries, and now the sun has moved into the second natural house, which is Taurus. What I'd like to understand, what we'd like to understand, Lalita, is first of all, what does the second house represent? And then second of all, what does Taurus represent?
Yes. Hi, everyone. Yes, so we have a powerhouse right now in the zodiac, so in the sky, all these constellations, and the focus is on Taurus because there are 3 planets there. So Taurus is the second natural house of the zodiac, and that's a mouthful for most people, so I will tell you what it means in a second. The second house means wealth. It means your assets. It means also your family of origin, and also the family you form through marriage and, to a certain extent. So it's all about what you can get in the sense of pleasures, security, abundance, all kinds of luxuries, and also comforts, all kinds of comforts. So your home, your beautiful furniture, anything you put in your house to make it more attractive. And it's a pleasure house, it's a desire house, which is good if we need to rebuild the world's economy. And at the personal level, you need to rebuild your wealth, maybe you lost your job, or maybe your business is slow. So that is a divine intervention to have 3 planets in Taurus right now. And I will tell you what that means later, and what you can do.
Okay, great. So to help us a little understand more about Taurus.
Yes, so I like to quote the classics in tiny amounts. So this classical book of Vedic astrology called the Paladipika says that Taurus is white. Why white? Because Venus is the ruler, and Venus is white, and Venus is a brilliant, good-looking male, very good-looking. The body is huge. What does it mean? It's associated with abundance, beauty, creativity, arts, etc. So pretty much Taurus has a lot to do with Venus. So Venus is about luxury, dance, perfumes, flowers, everything that makes life prettier, better. Also the second house, so Venus in particular means cars, means homes. So those characteristics are very much connected with Taurus. So people who have planets there usually are very good at their, keeping their finances very abundant, very good. And to give you a quick example, the president of the United States, Trump, has the sun in Taurus and another planet. So he was always very good, obviously, with finances. So whether you like him or not, he's a very good financial, strategist, etc. All right, so that's what it means, pretty much.
Okay, great. So now that we have 3 of these planets, to help us understand how the planets in qualities get impacted by being in the sign of Taurus, and how these 2 work together. So if you go through, so first of all, the sun, what does it mean to have sun in Taurus?
Yeah, the sun in Taurus can give you a lot of intelligence in finances. So strong financial intelligence, very good at providing pleasures and beauty and accumulating wealth. So Taurus is about accumulation, and it's also about collection of things, collecting things. So the sun is very good. Maybe the person will love collecting precious gems or jewelry or coins. And also pretty much will be just focused on a career connected with wealth. Okay, so will be maybe a financier or a famous jeweler or something like that.
And the sun represents the soul too, right? In Vedic astrology?
Yes. So that's why the intelligence, right? So the intelligence of the soul, according to the Vedas and the Vedic, so we're talking about Vedic astrology in case I didn't say it. So Vedic astrology is very much connected with the higher truths that we can find in all the wisdom traditions. So the soul is this, the soul in Vedic astrology is represented by the sun. And that gives you incredible intelligence, maybe from past lives, right? Because we accumulate intelligence every time we come here. And so the intelligence of the soul is connected with wealth in this case, all right? So the person knows how to grow their money, the person knows how to enjoy life. There's a lot of pleasure seeking, you know, beauty. Maybe the person will have a beautiful wife and etc. So that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so what I'm hearing you say is at the soul level, we can actually have an awakening perhaps of the wealth, the innate wealth that we have, innate wealth consciousness.
Yes, absolutely. We can awaken that. We can magnify it. We can purify it even, because the sun is a purifier. So except for when it's in an ego state, because if it switches to the soul state, that brings the intelligence of the divine, that person would be able to chant maybe sacred mantras, because Vedic astrology is very much connected with doing something about it. So chanting mantras, especially sound technology, is super important. So awakening the authentic abundance within you is so important, and the sun can help you do that. Right?
Awesome.
So
perfect. So it's basically a really good time for the next, 30 days, right? With the sun in Taurus.
Well, yes. So we're also, this is Vishnupati. So happy Vishnupati, everybody. I will tell you what that means. It means that when the sun enters Taurus or Leo or Scorpio or Aquarius, the sun brings a very powerful time window for Vishnu. So Vishnu can bring you a lot of wealth, like Goddess Lakshmi. They're very much in one, interconnected, and they can both bring you a lot of wealth. Also good health, but Vishnupati is really about wealth. So you can pray to Lord Vishnu. I will give you the mantras later, but right now, so I wanted to mention that.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for mentioning that.
It ends tomorrow morning in the West. In Eastern time, it ends at 8 a.m. So check your time zone.
Mm-hmm. Super.
But you want to do something today. Maybe a puja. Puja means offerings, giving offerings of light, incense, and flowers. Mm-hmm. And Lakshmi will explain that later.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. So next we have Venus in Taurus. Tell us what that means.
So let's talk about Venus, because Venus is at home, right? Venus is the homeowner. And Venus went retrograde 2 days ago. So for another 2 or 3 days, don't jump into great investments. It's better to wait a few days so you get your bearings, because planets that are going retrograde, they are not changing their course. It's really our perspective. Still, it will affect us very deeply at the level of consciousness. So it's like Vakri literally means crooked, out of character. Okay. So the result, so maybe Venus for a few days will not be 100% like Venus. Maybe the desire nature will be less, and also the focus on beauty and wealth will be less. So wait a few days. Then once you understand how the energy is working for you, and maybe you can get a Vedic astrology consultation, that's always recommended, to see how Venus and these planets are influencing you and your thoughts, because it all starts from your thoughts. So wait, and then you can make decisions regarding your finances, etc. So I say Venus and not the sun, because the sun is getting its marching orders from Venus to a certain, at a certain level, because Venus is the homeowner. So even though the sun is the king and radiates all its purity and light, etc., right now is acting more like Venus. Yeah, you can say that. And Venus is, of course, as I said before, all about beauty and abundance, everything gorgeous. Okay, so you can beautify your home, you can do a lot of wonderful things right now, and you can change the Shreem Brzee, which is all, the number one remedy. Okay, so the other planet is Mercury, and Mercury is the super communicator. And the reason we're here on technological device is also thanks to Mercury, because he knows how to use all these tools graciously, more or less. And it's also another planet of desire. So Venus and Mercury are all about desires and fulfillment of desires, pretty much, unless the chart is super spiritual. So that would be less. So Mercury wants to communicate about beauty now with Venus. And with the sun, it also forms a yoga of intelligence. Yoga means combination. So tell me if I'm going too fast, so I'll break it down.
This is perfect. This is great.
Okay, so the sun and Mercury together form the Buddha Aditya Yoga, which means it gives more intelligence in communication and also in expressing ideas. And with Venus, okay, a little bit of caution here is necessary, because the sun is the king, right? So the sun is also the soul and the ego. So ego with Venus doesn't work too well. So it's like you're at home, if you want to get along, you cannot be a boss, right? So the sun tends to do that because it radiates, it even controls Saturn. So Saturn is the most powerful planet. The sun, over in a war, the planetary war, we call it, the sun wins. But Venus wins. Why? Because Venus is gracious. Venus is really, really focused on creating happiness. So if you want, it's like you want to be right or you want to be happy. Right? So Louise Hay, I loved her, great author. And she said, do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? So the sun wants to be right and Venus wants to be happy. So hopefully Venus will say, okay, let's all be nice and to each other and create a lot of beauty and beautiful relationships.
Right.
All right, and Mercury, again, can help you make good decisions at the business level, because it is a planet of business, technology, and sharing ideas, mostly graciously, because it works better, whether it's at home or at work or in marketing, right, or PR especially, where you take an idea and make it look very nice. So yeah, we need a good Mercury, and Mercury is well placed because he's a friend of Venus. So we have two strong planets, and the sun is bringing the intelligence of the soul so we can grow our money and fix the world's finances. Hopefully the world's leaders will get lots of good ideas for bringing back abundance and stability to the economy. And I say the world's governments because the sun represents also the government and the authority figures.
Perfect. So let's go back and just talk about some dates right now. So the sun moved yesterday, I believe. And so when does the sun move out of Taurus? We have the sun there now.
So, yes, so you asked me that question. So the sun entered Taurus yesterday. And so again, I want to repeat, there's Vishnupati. Vishnupati is an incredible time window for wealth until tomorrow morning in my time zone, Eastern time. And it will stay in Taurus until the middle of June. So until June 14th or 15th even.
Mm-hmm.
And, around that time, Mercury goes retrograde. So you want to do something right now and use this time, even though Venus is retrograde. It's a great time to, again, to fix, to find a new job. Don't hesitate to send your resumes, make lots of contacts, and the planets will help you.
Great. And so Venus is in Taurus, just went retrograde. How long, when does the retrograde end, and when does he move out of Taurus?
Yes, so the retrograde of Venus ends on June 25th, if I remember well. But the beautiful news, the great news is that Venus will stay in Taurus until July 31st. That's incredible. So we got very lucky. We got very lucky. God was there, I think, because even though there is a slump economically for a lot of people, millions in the US alone, we have Venus in Taurus until the end of July. So that will be a great boost to finances, especially now with the Sun and Mercury.
Right. And how long is Mercury in Taurus?
Mercury is very fast. It's the second fastest after the Moon. So you see, it's midway right now. Let me see the degrees one second. Or better yet, to get my calendar.
Right.
Which is the best way. Right.
I think it's not too long. I think it's in May.
Long, right. But we do, so around the end, okay, so now I remember. All right, so Mercury enters Gemini on the 24th this month. So in about 10 days. And but that's great news, because Gemini is also a business house, and can bring new ideas, innovation, to stay very focused on business. And that's where it all starts. That's, most people make money through business, and then they give jobs. So good things will happen to the world. Even better, which I've been looking forward to, and it's very important, Mercury will move past Rahu, which will end this terrible yoga called the Kala Sarpa Yoga. Kala Sarpa Yoga is a lockdown. Surprise, surprise. So it's not.
When does that happen?
So we're all looking forward to the 29th of May, because we'll end the Kala Sarpa Yoga, and hopefully we'll start leaving our houses at the same time. That definitely, that will be better for disease, and because Mercury is also a planet of health. So it will be good for a lot of levels.
Right.
So it's not that a little disclaimer. It's not that every time we have a Kala Sarpa Yoga, we'll go into quarantine. Okay. So that only happens, thank God, it happens very rarely, a few times during the history of humanity, in this civilization. So, but definitely it has contributed to lock down all the planets, because the planets get stuck in some ways through Rahu and Ketu, and that's not great. And it happened, this combination actually was there during the bombing of Hiroshima, and also it was there during September 11th. So it's a very dramatic situation for Rahu and Ketu. It can be helpful. There is intelligence in these nodes, but at the same time, it was really difficult.
Right. Okay. Well, that's all very helpful. So what does this mean for our Shreem Brzee practice? This is the Shreem Brzee channel. Hopefully everyone out there is chanting Shreem Brzee, listening to Shreem Brzee, doubling down on your Shreem Brzee. How will this help us with our efforts?
It will be incredibly good. It will help those who are chanting Shreem Brzee the most, because it's a super sound. There's nothing like that in the world. And again, Vedic astrology is based on sound technology, because that's what the sages said. That's what the rishis, the Siddhas told us. Change your thoughts, change your frequencies, change your mind, and change your consciousness, raise your consciousness, and then the sky is the limit, or even the sky is not the limit, actually. The heavens are the limit. And so change the Shreem Brzee, listen to it all day long. I've never done that before, but now I am because I want to get out of that fear everybody has.
Yeah.
Whether it's ours or it comes from the collective, it doesn't matter. So we need to work on it. We can fix it. So chant a lot, chant all the time. Give it to the people you love. Give it to strangers. Just contribute to abundance by raising the consciousness on the earth plane. It starts with us. It starts with our practice.
Perfect. I love it. Yes, 100%. Give Shreem Brzee to everyone. Okay, so this has been fantastic. Quick recap. Very positive time in terms of helping us activate and awaken our own innate wealth, our own innate fullness, as Dr. Pillai would say, while the sun is in Taurus. And then we have Venus and Mercury there. Venus being retrograde, so we're getting a little less of his benefits at the moment. Is that correct?
Not really. Yes, actually, Venus is very strong in retrograde. All the planets become very strong. That doesn't mean they're always clear to understand. So pretty much you expect certain things from Venus, especially a strong Venus. In the retrograde, there can be a surprise, like, okay, you think you have all your numbers together, you're crunching numbers, you think you have the right amount, etc. And then there's some confusion, but it doesn't have to be like that all the time. Just in the beginning of this retrograde, it may affect more. It's like, okay, so you're stopping the car, hitting the brakes, right? The pedestrians who seemed to be going backward when you were driving, now they seem to go slower. So now you've stopped, and now you're even backing up your car, so you're getting closer to the pedestrians. That is a lot of effect on our minds, our thoughts, and also the physical body. There's a little of adrenaline, right? So if that analogy helps. So you'll be a little confused, disoriented for a few days, but go ahead and just take action, do something great, chant a lot, fall in love with Goddess Lakshmi or Varahi. They're one and the same. Fall in love with the goddess. She is abundant. She doesn't want you to be poor. She doesn't want you to suffer. She wants everybody to be happy. So the goddesses are all like that.
Perfect. Okay, good. So let's go to some questions in our chat. So folks, go ahead and type in any questions you may have. There's a couple in there right now. Someone is asking, what about communicating to someone about a romantic relationship? Is this a good time to do that?
Yes, yes, definitely. And it's not really the house of relationship when we talk about Taurus. It's a different kind of Venus. Still, we have a strong Venus, right? So the pleasure seeking will be there. And when people want to be happy, they form a good relationship, usually. If there's no desire for that person or to be with that person and communicate with that person and doing things with that person, the relationship breaks down most of the time, unless it's a marriage. So definitely it's a good time, but definitely also watch your communication, make sure it's appropriate because Mercury is there and the sun is a lot of heat. So I think something I didn't say is the sun is not a friend of Venus per se. It can help in Taurus, absolutely, a lot. It will give you lots of boosting your ideas to accumulate wealth. At the same time, the sun is a little too hot. Even his wife left him because it was too hot. And so be gentle there. So don't be 100%, like really, very, very gentle. Be appropriate in your communication.
Right, right. Great. Another question is, you said it isn't good time for finances now because Venus is in retrograde. But you also said Mercury is good for Mercury is good for business and financial decisions. Can you please explain?
Yes, absolutely. So Mercury can also help with wealth. So all these three planets happen to be associated with wealth. Also the moon and Jupiter, but these three together form a great yoga combination for success, for happiness, for accumulation of wealth. There's no doubt. Again, we have to watch when Venus will be combust. it's probably already combusted, but the combustion really doesn't mean anything. It means that there's a little more heat. Just be gentle, that's all. If you're gentle, it will work out great, even at home. With associates also, because the sun is a karaka, we call it, a significator, represents career and work. And so, yeah, always be as nice as you can. Also, Venus and Mercury together will make sure that you'll be nice enough. Then, if there's too much focus on the material, make sure that you balance it out with Shreem Brzee, promise that you will share your wealth with the world, then it will always works out.
Okay, great. Yeah, folks, we definitely want to keep reiterating that like a remedy basically is chanting. So you can do other remedies. You can order, fire rituals and packages that Astrobed and Pillai Center have. Those are definitely available for remedies if you're feeling like you're not really sure how this benefits you. Also getting a reading, an astrology reading, like Lalita said, she's available. There's other astrologers available, and we'll put the link in below. But this is a great time to better understand kind of how this all the planets in their variety, the different places in the sky will impact your chart differently. So Alita's giving us the global general positioning on how these houses in general are working. We each individually have our own planetary blueprint when we were born. It's our astrology chart. And then those planets are different for each one of us, and they're placed in different places for each one of us. So I see some questions in the chat like, what about my chart? We're not going to get into that because we can't.
I cannot see your chart.
Exactly. But that's why you would get with an astrologer and find out those details, what planets are, good and bad for you. What do these transits mean, especially for you, and instructions and personal remedies. We're giving you the general information.
So super important, I wanted to say, if you go to a Western astrologer, they'll tell you all these planets are in Gemini. So don't freak out. It's a different system. It's based on these seasons. I didn't find it very helpful, but please don't shoot me. But Vedic astrology is based on what you see in the sky and the constellation that have not moved for thousands of years. So it's very precise. There's no mistake. So if you were able to see Taurus, the constellation right now, you would see 3 planets. And maybe at night you'll be able to see some things. Venus in a certain place, that's Taurus.
Yeah.
Until the end of July. Yes. So that's important to remember. Because people say, oh, you just posted that Saturn is in Capricorn. It's in Aquarius, so I get that a lot.
Right. Yes, we're talking about Vedic astrology. Okay, so someone has another question. Bhavna, can I keep chanting silently? Absolutely. You can chant silently out loud. You should play the mantra 24/7. Something that I've been hammering to everybody on all the calls live videos that I've been doing. This is going to help you. It helps me because even if I forget to chant, something is chanting for me. If I walk into that room or I have that audio with me, it's making a difference. It's huge, and it's the easiest thing you can do. It's like level 1 of what to do to help increase our awareness and our vibration with Shreem Brzee, because that's going to make a huge impact. And having all of this planetary support right now with Venus and Taurus and these planets that can help give us inner fulfillment and outer fulfillment. Shreem Brzee, that is Shreem Brzee, right? Shreem Brzee is the manifestation mantra for inner and outer wealth. So this is, can't say that enough, like be chanting.
Yeah. It's inner and out, exactly. And Vedic astrology is based on the archetypes, very strongly so. So Goddess Lakshmi, connect with the goddess, connect with Vishnu, connect with Varahi. Many of you may be in the course, a Varahi course. It's wonderful. I was in India with Gina and Dr. Pillai, and it was incredibly, it's life-changing once you connect with this goddess. She's the one who comes to my meditations, even though I almost never think about her. And I repent, as Ora Roberts said, I repent. I vow always to chant a little bit to her too, because I forget. So the program will help you. And there will be, do you want to tell us about the new Shreem Brzee program? Do you know?
Sure. So there's another question. Someone said, mantra is only Shreem Brzee. Yes, the mantra is only Shreem Brzee. There's other ways, you know, to do it, but the simplest, best form is just be chanting Shreem Brzee. So, yeah, I just recently announced and want everyone to know that Pillai Center is hosting a 4-part, absolutely free workshop on everything you need to know on how to manifest with Shreem Brzee, how to clear out the past, because that's what gets us caught up in our mind, our patterns, everything we do on a regular basis is because it's from thoughts, it's from karma, it's from patterns we've gotten from the planets or this life or past lives or whatever it is that are contributing to our continual thought process. And that thought process can be, I'm not good enough, or I'll never have enough, or it can't happen to me, right? Like we have these things that have been implanted into us and we run with them, but we're going to give you techniques to rid yourself of those. So that's phase 1 or in workshop 1. And then the second workshop is going to be all about how to manifest. So your goals, your passion, what techniques to use. We'll handle all of that. These are all to Dr. Pillai's techniques. And then the third workshop is how to continue, because you can't just do it once, right? You can't chant Shreem Brzee 108 times or one time or one day or even 1 month. It has to be continual in order to have impact. Lalita and I have been studying with Dr. Pillai for years and years and years, and you see the progress over time. It doesn't always happen overnight, although there's miraculous things that do happen overnight, but consistency is key. So workshop number 3 will be all about consistency and creating a daily practice that works for you. Then workshop number 4 is when Dr. Pillai comes, and he will give us the empowerment, the energy transmission, and the teachings that we need right now to help us the most in this time period. And we will also be letting you know about a course that is starting in June 5th. It's a full moon. That's the proposed time of the start of this course. Hopefully, we'll see if that sticks, but it should. And then we'll be giving you so much additional support during that course. We're going to be having, taking those 3 phases of what we taught you for free, but going deeper into them, and then ways to accelerate your progress. Power times, like we're talking about right now, when there's transits and things that happen that help to accelerate what it is we can do more with our Shreem Brzee and our manifestations, rituals that you can do at home. Additional meditations. We're going to get some new content from Dr. Pillai and meditation on what to do with Shreem Brzee, particular for this moment. We're in a very unique moment in history, and Dr. Pillai is going to give us a new technique, and that will be available in the course as well. So there's lots of really cool things in store for the course and also for the free workshop. So we invite everyone to add your name to the list so that we can give you more information about the workshop and send you reminders as well, so you don't miss anything. And yeah, and the Pillai Center teachers will be involved, myself, Lalita, and many others. So we definitely look forward to that. We're really excited about it. Thank you, Lalita, for asking.
That's exciting. And I noticed that in every program, there's a new level. It's not like, oh, it's Shreem Brzee again. There's no such a thing. Every program has brought me a different understanding, a different level of abundance. Not that I'm a billionaire, but still I have a different way of understanding finances and also beauty. I took it for granted because I grew up in Italy, where beauty is your number 1 duty. Clothes, beautiful art, beautiful design. But now I understand that also there's the divine aspect, because the God, the divine God is not poor, obviously. And beauty is divine. So beauty doesn't mean a ton of makeup, but it means having everything gracious and beautiful, and flowers and cleanliness. They're all part of beauty.
Good.
Yeah. So.
Great. Okay, so we have a couple more questions we'll get to in chat. So we have someone asked, Sherry's asking, what are the best planets for wealth?
Yes. So wealth, I'm going to use the word karaka because it means it represents that thing. So Venus represents wealth and is the karaka of wealth. So is the sun to a great extent, because the sun brings success, brings that sovereignty and also royalty consciousness. So there's wealth coming to it with it. But there's more sacrifice, there's more work. To serve the people, to serve the country, it depends on your position in life, or to serve your like company. And then Mercury also is very important. In fact, once Dr. Pillai said that Mercury is associated. Actually, there is a research, and Dr. Pillai was the one who mentioned it first 10 years ago. And I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know. And Mercury is the planet of billionaires. Why? Because these billionaires, they never think about anything else. They're so focused that all their ideas, their speech, their work, their communications are all about wealth. And Dr. Pillai said it very simply once, that in a workshop, in a seminar in India, there were people like us, like, okay, we're enjoying this, it's nice. We were in a museum, and then there are two millionaires who were talking to each other, let's market this, we can take this thing. And they were already talking about business after one sentence that Dr. Pillai said about certain items. So it's that kind of focus and that kind of playful, activity around ideas, etc., that makes people billionaires. So not just a beautiful Venus, not just a strong sun. So Mercury is definitely very much connected with business and communicating about your product. So promoting it is all about Mercury, and it's very important. Yeah. So yes, use this time, because now Mercury is all concentrating on luxury and collecting. Yeah, I know some people are rushing to buy gold or rushing to buy silver. Silver is very inexpensive right now, and that's the metal of Venus. Maybe you would see a boost in sales.
So what other planets are there for wealth? Is Jupiter and Venus? We have
Jupiter is a Karaka wealth. Yes, it's the Dana. Dana means wealth in Sanskrit, the Dana Karaka, because there's so much positivity and generosity that attracts a lot of good. So in the Vedas, you can read that good thoughts, the Ramayana also, good thoughts lead to wealth. So Jupiter will bring you those good thoughts that will bring you all kinds of wealth. Also, all kinds of wealth, whether it's divine, spiritual and material, all kinds.
Okay. Great. And that actually reminds me, these are the gemstones that we put onto the Shreem Brzee mala. Yes. So we have gemstones that represent Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter on here because of the representation of that energy that we want to continue to draw towards us.
Everywhere. Also, my Mercury is in my 10th house of career with the Sun. So I try to remind myself, okay, do something, because I would not be inclined, to think about business too much.
Right.
But it helps, definitely. So you can chant to the mantras of these planets. That's one of the remedies. They're called upayas. So chant to the Mercury mantra. You can chant to the Venus mantra. You can Google them. They're countless. The Sun mantra, the easiest one is Om Suryaya Namaha.
Okay, perfect. And 7?
At least 108 times for each, in addition to Shreem Brzee, if you want to do something extra, or Shreem Brzee would be enough.
Right. Yeah, there's some people asking. So Mira's asking what rituals should be performed for Vishnu Pati, and then some other folks are asking if there's any other mantras you were recommending.
You can take a statue or an image of Vishnu. There's always an immediate communication once you look at the picture. There are books written about it by neuroscientists, neurologists. They tell you that just looking at the picture, your brain will change. So just to look at Vishnu, you can chant Om Namo Narayanaya. That's the easy mantra. Everybody can chant that. You can Google it if you don't remember the sounds, for those who have never heard it. And also you can, if you have a flower, maybe on your balcony or in the garden, even one dandelion is enough. If you have no flowers in your garden, like mine, I have very few flowers. And also you can offer some water, fresh water, some light, incense, and just to feel it, just talk in your own words, and you can chant the mantra. Yeah, Mira, hi.
Perfect. Okay.
Mira is my student.
What's that?
Mira is my student. She's been my client in 2 modules of my program.
Oh, great. All right.
Hi, Mira. Good to see you.
Danny's asking if I can look for a fulfilling new job now. Yes, that was
Absolutely. Now is the time. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes. And also we have a lot of intelligence in the planets, except for Jupiter. I don't like Jupiter in Capricorn too much. But Saturn is in Capricorn and it's retrograding. It will not move to another sign, which will keep Saturn strong. Even though there's a retrograde, there's still a lot of help from Saturn. That's also another planet of career. And the sun being focused on wealth also can help you. So you're not shy when you ask for more money and yeah, just be focused.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great.
Whatever you think, you manifest pretty much. So think money, think wealth, think that it will come for sure.
Right,
Good luck finding a great job. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to start wrapping up. Thank you everyone for joining and posting your questions. A lot of them were specific to your own charts. So like I said before, I recommended that you receive a reading in order to get that accurate information. And we understand there's a lot going on in the world and there may be a lot of feelings of fear or anything else happening. That's why Shreem Brzee is so important. And we're getting the support from these planets like Lalita mentioned to us today that helps build that additional support needed for the Shreem Brzee, the activating the Shreem Brzee, activating your inner wealth, connecting with these divine beings and making offerings to the planets and the overlords of them. So if you have any other questions, you can post them below. We'll have someone continue to answer comments in this video. And anything else you'd like to, anything for wrapping up, Lalita?
I think we covered it pretty much. The second house it also belongs to the world. So hopefully this will help a lot of world leaders to make good decisions about money and how to rebuild the economies. That's very important, that they would be enlightened, I hope, to, you know, and not push other political ideas like, I don't know, communism. I am not a fan. Yeah, so we stay focused and so on our individual independent wealth. That it should help a lot with this planet.
Great. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Lalita. Thank you all for.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Good, good. So if folks want to see more of kind of Shreem Brzee Power Times, let us know. We can have Lalita back, maybe on a monthly basis, to give us a little update on what's going on with transits.
Definitely.
Okay, fabulous.
See you soon.
Well, what's that?
See you soon. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm available.
So thank you everyone for joining, and sign up for the Wealth Activation Workshop, the free series that we're giving. The Dr. Pillai will also be providing the fourth workshop live and giving us an empowerment. So you don't want to miss that. And we value you. Thank you so much. What else do we have going on? Today's Friday. So Sunday, I'll be live on Instagram. And then I'll also be live on Instagram on Wednesday. And then we'll be back next Friday on the Shreem Brzee YouTube channel to talk about turmeric and how this powerful herb can help us with our Shreem Brzee practice. So we'll see you then. And then, there's the daily Shreem Brzee chanting happening on this channel, the Shreem Brzee official, and the Friday chanting as well. So there's 2 chantings on Friday, and a lot of ways that we're providing you with free ways to connect with Shreem Brzee to increase your practice and make sure that you're getting the most out of this most powerful time. So daily Shreem Brzee on this channel, and then weekly Shreem Brzee chanting on this channel as well. So we will see you all soon. Namaste. Okay.